This is the greatest song in the world. No, it's not the greatest song in the world. Anyways, tribute. Me and my little dog, Pix here, was hitchhiking down a long and lonesome road. Whatever, man. I don't remember the lyrics. And you're so happy to be the best. Ow! You're pulling my... God damn it. Stop it. Get away from the microphone cable. Thank you. We played it first with the kid of our minds. You're so happy to be the best song in the world. It was the best song in the world. I look into my eyes and see. What's up, everyone? Welcome to FAQ 164. What an intro. You might be wondering why I'm sitting here with an acoustic guitar. Well, it's because I packed down all the cables. I'm not going to be able to record an electric guitar today because we're packing. I don't know if you can see this, but this is going to be my last video I record at this spot right here. Well, it's an FAQ. You guys have questions. I do have answers. Let's go. Handsome Freddy is asking, fuck, hi Ola, thanks for some great reviews and videos over the years. When you have so many nice amplifiers as you have, do you ever use distortion pedals? Skål from Denmark, cheers from Denmark. Thank you so much, Handsome Freddy. Well, the thing is that, okay, I look at it like this. Amplifiers are pretty expensive. And, you know, it takes a lot for people to invest in getting an amplifier. Now, for me, at this point right here, where my job is to do this and do amplifiers and whatnot, you know, for me it's an investment for the company to have a lot of amplifiers, which is great. Yes, it is definitely like living the dream right there. But with that said, distortion pedals are more like a cheaper way to, you know, change up your sound or distortion. Getting the amplifier, obviously it's gonna do a lot of difference, but a distortion pedal also makes a lot of difference. So it's a cheaper way to kind of, you know, switch out your sound a little bit. The good thing about distortion pedals is that if you hook up a distortion pedal to an effects loop of your already owned tube amplifier, it's gonna probably sound pretty badass, just saying, and different from what the amplifier sounds with its own preamp. So I think distortion pedals are an excellent way to get a new tone going without sacrificing too much of the money. Let's just say that. I still love using distortion pedals, and the coolest thing about distortion pedals is that they're pretty small, so you can have a lot of them and they don't take as much space as real amplifiers. Thank you, Handsome Freddy. Andreas Grellman, hey Ola, I'm looking to upgrade my guitar rig sometime in the near future and I want something leaning on the less expensive side. So far, the Boss Katana Mark II amp head with the Boss Katana 2x12 cabinet has caught my eye. Would this amp cab combo be a good choice, or is there any other one you would suggest over it? That's a great question. I was recommending the Boss Katana for a long time because I think it's an excellent starter amplifier. I mean, you have basically everything in there. You have effects, you have different types of distortions. It caters a lot to the broad audience that wants to play guitar, I would say. But since you're going and looking at a head with a 2x12 cabinet, if you're in it for the metal, maybe look at some of the less expensive tube amplifiers that are out there right now. And something I've been talking a little bit about is the Marshall DSL amplifiers. Like the Marshall DSL-1, it's an insane sounding small amplifier and it doesn't really cost that much. If you want to go up a little bit, the Marshall DSL-20 is also a great option, and also the PRS Mark Tremonti 15. That's a great tube amplifier as well. But then you're going up into tube, it's gonna be fine. Don't worry about tubes and whatnot. It's definitely worth it. It sounds super awesome, and if you're gonna couple it with a 2x12, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, man. Just saying. Adam Amen. Fuck, hi Ola. I never really heard you talk about bassists that much, so here's one. I just realized you're from Stockholm, and my question is, have you been to Cliff Burton's Memorial Stone, and also what do you think of him as a musician? Great question. No, I have not been to the memorial. The memorial is at the spot where he passed away, which is southern Sweden, and Stockholm is like central Sweden, okay? So I never been, I don't think I've passed that spot ever. Him as a musician, I think Cliff Burton, he did so much in the little time he was a part of Metallica. At that time, not to rack down on the other musicians in the band, but he was probably the better musician in the band in the early start, I would say. He was the one who knew the most about music, and he seemed like some sort of a genius. And if you ever saw him live or check out any of the live clips, you can see he was just a superpower of a bass player. It would have been interesting seeing what would have happened with Metallica if they kept on with Cliff Burton. If he didn't pass away, what would Metallica be today? Would it be the same? Would it be different? I think that's a legit question someone might ask. An incredible bass player gone way too soon. You know? I don't know what Metallica did. They had such a weird relationship with bass players after that. You know, Jason Newsted joined the band, and then they really didn't want to have the bass on the albums, and it's so weird, man. I think still to this day, they probably never are going to be able to replace him for themselves. I mean, Rob Trujillo is an excellent bass player and probably even better than what Cliff Burton was. But I still don't think that they can replace Cliff. I mean, emotionally. Okay, awesome. Good question. Juan Jose Fonseca Godoy. This is not a question for the next FAQ. I just want to say that I love you, dude. Shit. Even my girlfriend enjoys watching your videos with me, even though she doesn't understand shit because she doesn't speak English. Thank you for bringing a bit of joy and stupid knowledge to our lives. Well, thank you, buddy. Thank you so much, man. I think sometimes we focus way too much on the negative aspect of the male community. I mean, obviously, it's not just the male community. It's just the social media in general. It's just a lot of negativeness around it. I just want to bring up some fucking positive feelings. It's okay to love me. No, that's not what I wanted to say. I just wanted to bring some positivity into this because there's just way too much focus on the negative aspect of the male community. I think the male community is fucking excellent right now. There's a lot of love in it, and I just want to bring that up. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Nicholas Go. Love these. Fuck, Ola. What is your method of picking up dog shit after picks? P.S. I love all that you and Louise bring to the world. Guitars, music, smiles, and laughter. Stay Mel. Well, that's an excellent question. I hope I have... See if I have a... Yeah, I do. Oh, what a responsible fucking dog owner I am. I have one in my back pocket. A little, biodegradable dog bag. Okay, so why am I answering this question? I don't know. Okay, let's just imagine that Pix made a big doo-doo right here. Okay, let's see. Okay, with this camera. She made a big doo-doo right here. What the hell? What? Ouch! Microphone cable. Remind me that I need to get a wireless system for otherwise. No, don't eat the shit. Don't eat the shit, Pix. I'm supposed to pick it up. Okay, so I'm picking up the dog shit. Something like this, you put your hand in the bag, okay? And then you pick up the shit like a responsible dog owner like this. Put it in a bag, wrap it around, throw it in the bin. Like this, okay? Sometimes she can find like, rabbit or hare, turds. She would eat it. Is this a music-related FAQ? No. Josiah Nance. Fuck, hey Ola, do you think you would still be with Washburn if you never chose to create solo guitars? By the way, keep up the great content. Well, one of the reasons why I joined Washburn in the first place was because of actually the two people that I had a meeting with when I was deciding between Ibanez ESP and Washburn back in the day, because I gelled so much with these two guys, and we had about the same vision. They necessarily didn't completely understand what I was doing, with social media, YouTube and all. They grew to understand what I was doing, and together we built the whole, Washburn Solar thing. Eventually, things happened with Washburn. The brand US Music Corp got purchased by a distributor brand, and a lot of things changed. Bureaucracy happened, basically, you know, where it's more about money than anything else. Washburn was just not the same anymore. They closed down their custom shop. I mean, it was just not the same. It sort of felt more like a distribution company more than anything else. So I don't think I would have continued with Washburn anyways. Even if I didn't start my own company, I would probably have dropped out anyways, because it was just not the same people. It just didn't have the same passion anymore. Nothing against the people that are working on. Are you ashamed? You look ashamed. You almost broke the guitar. What? Oh, you're trying to say you're sorry now? What was that? What was that? You put my guitar on the floor? You think that's okay? What? You think that's okay? You're trying to say sorry? Well, it's working. Okay. It's a Washburn, by the way. We're talking about Washburn. Anyways, so no, I don't think I would have stayed with Washburn guitars. And you know, the two people that I gelled so good with at Washburn, the reason why I joined Washburn, those guys are the guys I'm working with today on Solar Guitars. Good, huh? You know, those two guys, they left Washburn, and I was like, you know, those were my friends. Why am I staying? So I ended my contract with Washburn. After that, I called one of the guys and was like, hey man, why don't we just do this ourselves? We're gonna do it good. And I think we sort of did. So, a little good story right there. How about that? Michael Yu, how important would you say the pickups are in a guitar when you're working with high gain metal tones in a home recording setup with a DI box? I get a lot of flubby, sludgy low end, and I've seen a lot of people say better pickups can help, especially for 7-strings like mine. But I always thought pickups were towards the bottom of the recording quality food chain. What are your thoughts? Excellent and valid question. Thank you. I'm having like a hiccup right now. I'm just gonna fix it. Okay, let's just get straight to the point. The pickups and the strings are basically where the tone starts, okay? It's not something that you should be taking lightly. It's basically the start of your tone. Now, there's still a lot you can do with a pickup sound using like an EQ or something like that afterwards. If you have an EQ pedal, you can always use that after your guitar to be able to kind of shape your tone. But I would still get a proper pickup for recording DI. I mean, just keep it as clean as possible. When you start using EQs and whatnot, you're just introducing more and more noise for all the shit that you add. Just get a proper pickup, proper wire, and you know, get it as silent as possible. You know, signal to noise ratio will be the absolute lowest for recording DI. There's just so many awesome pickups out there, and there's also a lot of shitty pickups out there. So if you have a problem with sludgy low end and flubbiness, then yes, there are pickups that help with that. Like there are pickups that have less bass, which will work a lot better when you want to record like tight rhythm guitars. But then, with that said, there's also a lot you can do with overdrives and whatnot, so there's a lot to experiment with. It's all up to you, man. I would probably invest in a good set of pickups. If you buy a really cheap guitar, the best upgrade you can do is probably gonna be the pickups. So you can get a Squier guitar and buy some more expensive pickups. I mean, pickups, you can get a really good Seymour Duncan if you find them used for like $50 or something like that. And suddenly your Squier guitar or you know, your cheap guitar will sound excellent. It's a very simple way of upgrading your guitar. Ryan Patterson, Ola, when you joined 6 Feet Under, did you replace Rob Arnold? On Rob's show, Everything You Love, he mentions you as a huge inspiration for him to start his own YouTube channel. How does it feel to inspire other great musicians to start their own channels? Between your channel and Rob's, I have hours on end of entertainment. Thank you so much. Yes, I did replace Rob Arnold. He was the previous guitar player of 6 Feet Under. He did the Undead? The album Undead. And I got to learn his songs from that album. I know Rob contributed a lot to that album, and I had to learn a lot of his riffs. And you know, I have massive respect for Rob and his career. Basically, I mean, he was Chimera, the excellent metalcore band Chimera. I have huge respect for that guy, and hearing that he respects what I'm doing and that he got inspired by me of creating his own channel, that means a lot to me. You know, how does it feel to inspire other great musicians to start their own channels? Or it's just like that in general, man. It's really weird to picture people being inspired about what I'm doing. For me, it is, at least. You know, I'm just sitting here on my ass, dropping guitars on the floor and, you know, playing with my dog and, you know, doing fart jokes and whatnot. For me, it's just me being me. And it's really hard for me to see how people would get inspiration from that. But it's truly humbling, I must say. It makes me really happy, and you know, it makes me warm inside to hear shit like that. If you haven't already, you should go check out Rob's channel. It just seems like an all-around f***ing awesome guy, you know. I never met him in person. I've only like talked to him on email, I think. But I would love to, you know, meet up and hang sometime, you know. Thank you for the question. Lover of the Hill people, I want to see Ola do some Nirvana covers. Do you really? You guys are lucky because I have an acoustic guitar right here. I need an easy friend. I think Paul Mudd did it better, to be honest. And no, I'm not going to destroy my voice today. But yes, there you go. Nirvana cover. What's about a girl? Yes, thank you. Sugar Bear, 1976. Ola, what do you think about Dave Mustaine and Kirk Hammett? Kirk Hammett. Yes. Oh, good old Kirk Hammett. Endorsing Gibson guitars. Do you think James Hetfield could be next? Yes, I definitely think that James Hetfield would be next. But since they're still keeping their ESP contracts, and you know, ESP will continue to make the guitars, I mean, they do whatever they want. They're big enough names to have 2 endorsements, I think. I also thought it was interesting seeing that, you know, Dave Mustaine is using Gibsons, but also that Kiko was using a Gibson during a live show. I'll see if I can find a picture of that. That was interesting. Is Kiko gonna go over to Gibson now from Ibanez? Speculations, fake news. You can find it all here. And the frequently asked assholes with Ola. Assmaster 420. Lol, I have finally made it to the big leagues. Ola has burned me. I was a little bit judgmental when I wrote that. Okay, this was a guy that made a little bit of an ignorant comment back in the day. He came back and made a comment. Okay, let's read. I was a little bit judgmental when I wrote that comment, but the elevator music really put me over the edge. That is the only vid that I noticed it. And of course, I'm not going to stop watching your videos. Most of your content is great, but most of the content is great, especially Will It Chug and Ola Tasting Shit. I also love the riff challenge, but I'm too much of a beginner to embarrass myself with an attempt yet. Have a good one. Well, I must say, this guy came back like a true champ and responded in a very mature and awesome manner. And for that, I have to say I'm sorry for burning you a little bit with the elevator music. You are a true gentleman with this answer, and I hope you are okay with me continuing doing my elevator music. Just want to lift that out there. You know, I burned the Assmaster a little bit. He came back with a responsible and mature answer. Kudos to him, man. Respect. Respect. Okay? Angry German, why are you wearing pants? I guess I can take them off, but that's for my second channel. Have you joined my second channel? I have a second channel now. Ola England number 2, The Revenge. Basically where everything goes. Maybe even me without pants, just saying. No, I'm just starting, you know, I'm just reactivating my second channel with, you know, some in-between content. So if you're interested in more shit with me, maybe you should go and subscribe to that channel. It's basically me trying to engage a little bit more with the audience and, you know, the in-between videos that might not necessarily be fittable for this number 1 channel. Let's just say that. So go subscribe to my channel number 2 if you're interested. If not, you don't have to. Just keep on being subscribed to this one. Guys, thank you so much for the questions. I hope you enjoyed this FAQ. Weird feeling right here. This is the last video I'm making here. As soon as I stop recording this, I'm gonna tear all this shit down. F it, let's celebrate. Let's take off the pants, man. It's the last day in the office. Let's do it. Here you go, camera. Shit.